Start the cameras, start your microphones, because you're gonna want to hear this. Title is not clickbait by any means. I actually did destroy this engine, as you will hear. But before we get to the big reveal, let's have a little lead up first. Well, I think it's goodbye, Jeep. Gonna get towed all the rest of the way. You know how there's clickbait? Well, this is no clickbait. Okay, home sweet home. Okay, I think we heard enough there. Obviously, it's pretty much ruined. I don't think it's salvageable. It's got lots of oil in it. It's actually just a bit over full. The oil looks good. It smells good. I was driving on the highway. Oil pressure was going down and down and down. I noticed it. I was about to pull over when it went crazy, and the Jeep started slowing down. So, good thing I'm doing an engine swap. Looks like that is going to be expedited to soon rather than later. Okay, I think you heard enough. Suffice to say, the engine was starved of oil for a long period of time while going 110 kilometers an hour. This happened once before to a friend of mine where he's driving along, lost oil or oil pressure, and then the vehicle started slowing down even though you have your foot on the gas. And the next thing you know, seized engine. Luckily mine's not seized, but I don't think it's really salvageable. When I lost oil pressure and was coming to a stop, when I was slowing down, rather when the Jeep was forcibly slowing down, I pushed in the clutch and the engine immediately died. So I thought I was on the way to a seized engine. Turns out it's not seized, just something else happened. I think I melted some stuff. Rod bearings, connecting rod bearings, just a little bit. I think if I kept driving, I would have seized it indefinitely, given the loss of oil pressure. I don't know, let me let me know what you think in the comments below. Share this video. I want to get it out there so other people don't ruin these awesome 4-liters, because even though they are not fuel efficient, they are brutally reliable if you keep up to date with the maintenance. Remember when I was making those videos all those years ago when I was looking for a Jeep? It took me 2 years to find a YJ, only because I wanted a 4-liter inline 6. I had no interest in the 4 cylinders or any other combination. I just wanted a 4-liter because it's solid and it's reliable. Little did I know that I'd have so much interest in a 1.9 TDI swap. So really, the engine I buy this with, if it even had one, didn't matter anyway.
People do not think that a Volkswagen TDI makes the kind of power that you would need. It's got the biggest injectors that I could find for it. It turns these 40s way better than the 4-liter did. The 4-liter makes peak torque at 3,000 RPM, and this makes another 100 foot-pounds of torque more than the 4-liter did, and it makes it at 1,900 RPM. So, I mean, it's almost instant. It's like right off throttle, you're at peak torque, and it is noticeable. It's very noticeable.
It took me 2 years to find a YJ. Meanwhile, I'd passed 20, at least, 4-cylinder YJs in much better shape, mind you. Less rust, lift kit, bumpers, some had a winch, new seats. I mean, yeah. So what's the take home from this video? What exactly don't you want to do that I did? Don't be me, don't do me. For one, I have a girlfriend. For two, I don't want to end up with a problem like this. So, here are a list of things you shouldn't do if you want to preserve the life of your Jeep. Number 1. Apparently these 4-liters don't like high revs. When this happened to me, I was doing about 2,500 RPMs down the highway at 110 kilometers an hour. Now that is bad news bears. I was only doing that for 20 minutes and then I lost oil pressure. So I don't really know if I'm a special case, but these engines like to be on the low RPMs. Heck, 5th gear I think is like 15 or 1600 RPM. Now the reason I was in 4th gear was 1, to maintain speed easier because this engine's already out the door, but 2, the exhaust dump is right underneath me, and in 5th gear this thing's lugging along. It was loud. It was very loud. It just sounded like a cut off exhaust right underneath you. So you keep it in 4th gear, you keep your foot just on the throttle a little bit, and it's basically quiet. Second thing you don't want to do, forget to do your oil changes, right? If you don't do your oil changes, the oil gets dirtier and dirtier, picks up impurities. It takes away small little engine shavings, and then what happens? Those shavings get in your bearings, and then they wear away your bearings, and then before you know it, you lose oil pressure, and when you lose oil pressure, you lose your bearings. And then you spin a rod bearing, which is likely what happened here. And stay tuned for a future video where I take off the oil pan and the valve cover just to have a look on the top and bottom. And that way, if it's rod bearings, I can maybe replace them. It's cheap, less than $100. If it's not bad enough, if it's significant damage, then well, goodbye engine. And one final point: don't overfill your engine. A lot of reasons why you shouldn't overfill your oil, and one of the reasons is excessive scooping of the oil. I don't really exactly know how important that is. You know what? I don't know the first thing about spun bearings and oil pressure. I don't know anything about that, so I've been Googling and YouTubing. So just quick recap: don't over rev, don't forget to do your oil, make sure you have enough oil, first of all. Check your oil every now and again. I'm bad for that. Check your oil every now and again, it's a good idea. Oh, and by the way, the day that this decided to lose oil pressure, I was gunning it hard. Like, I was dropping the clutch in 1st gear, revving it up to 5,000 RPM. So it probably didn't help. Bearings are probably like, oh, don't do it, don't do it. All right, so until further news, I shall talk to you later. And don't forget, in the coming weeks and days, when it gets warmer, I will be doing a diagnostics on here, dropping the oil pan, taking off the valve cover, and checking the valve lash, valves, push rods, all that stuff, just to see exactly what the problem is. I'm guessing it's a spun bearing. That seems to be the go-to answer here. Oh, and you know what? Let's start the thing. It's been a whole day. Last time my Jeep was ticking in this video. Still going, but it's making noise. Listen to that tick. Probably out of oil or something. Yeah, it's pretty bad stuff. That was a hard day of off-roading, but yeah, it was ticking there, and then it got louder and louder, and then it went away, and then overnight after sitting, it went away completely, even after warming up and driving. So we're gonna see right now if this thing still ticks as loud as it did yesterday. Let's do it. There goes nothing. All right, so stay tuned for how we fix that.